I'm trying to get somewhere with you, Sierra, but you keep saying I'm not a wife. I don't know that. I'm trying to like explain some stuff, but you already dismissed it because you are not a wife. I already know you're not a wife. You just said that. So you want to keep telling me about what you know and stuff about, oh, I'm not this, I'm not that, but you're not letting me explain to you what marriage is like, because obviously you've been engaged twice, which means you want to be married. You just said that. I'm a wife, so I'm trying to explain to you, at least from my perspective, of what I'm seeing and what is happening. But you don't want to hear it, so I guess you're just not gonna ever get married.
Up next, we got another one from the Lapeef Network. Is 25 the new 30, or are women running out of time for marriage? Let's deep dive.
I'm trying to get somewhere with you, Sierra, but you keep saying I'm not a wife. I don't know that. I'm trying to like explain some stuff, but you already dismissed it because you are not a wife. I already know you're not a wife. You just said that. So you want to keep telling me about what you know and stuff about, oh, I'm not this, I'm not that, but you're not letting me explain to you what marriage is like, because obviously you've been engaged twice, which means you want to be married. You just said that. I'm a wife, so I'm trying to explain to you, at least from my perspective, of what I'm seeing and what is happening. But you don't want to hear it, so I guess you're just not gonna ever get married.
I feel like what's missing in that little conversation is that there's a trauma that both black men and black women are experiencing simultaneously. And it's like for women, I think the elephant in the room is that a lot of us are single. A lot of us want men that are not available to us. A lot of the men are not dating women. A lot of them are in jail, in prison, and that's a whole byproduct of what you're experiencing. And then men are like, okay, well, if y'all saying a man don't do this, a man don't do that, you bitches ain't cooking either. Y'all the new YNs. Y'all the new men. Y'all got gold chains on. Y'all, and I think that we're both experiencing this trauma and we just don't understand each other together. And so you all may feel like, okay, well, you're more masculine. And I think the whole sassy nature of why we're doubting is because of the deficit and the lack. Black women and the available people, the available men to them, it becomes traumatizing, because if you are a woman and you go home on Thanksgiving and they're like, you still you 30, you still ain't got no kids, you still ain't found nobody, you still ain't brought anybody home. And I think black men are experiencing a separate set of trauma as well, which is why I think that those shots are coming. Like, I think if you can understand a little bit of how women are, like, their lifestyle are evolving in terms of marriage, companionship, partnership, things like that. It's actually not like a shot that we want to take. It's just like, where the men at for us? Because we was watching the same Cinderella story, but we didn't get the prince. We was watching the same trope about, we had the same little part growing up where they told us, the easy bake oven and the big house and things like that we were changing the baby's clothes. But here we are, grown adults, and we didn't get the kids and we didn't get the husband. And so it's really more of an understanding. And you're right, it doesn't come out well. I think the delivery is poor, but I think the heart of it is that, like, we're in a deficit. And when y'all are doing that shit, it's like, please say you ain't another one that's on the other side that we don't have access to again, because we don't have access to viable partners as our other clear counterparts.
What I see, like, that lady, clearly, over 35. When I see people constantly, I'm not even going to say they making excuses, right? They in jail, they do all that type stuff. They're just making excuses. It really sounds different when somebody hasn't had the luck they were supposed to have, or they wish they would have had in love and relationships. That's what you're going to get, unfortunately, for most people. So I don't even know what to say.
No accountability
anymore about people that do that, men or women. You know what I mean? So what I'm going to take the moment to do is I'm going to tell people why it's important to get married a little bit younger.
Yes,
all right?
I agree.
Because maybe that's what we need to start doing, is not only do we listen to what these people are saying, we give advice to the younger generation on how they should do things. Who here on the panels wears Jordans?
Before he gets into that, Hamp asked me, when do you think is the best time to get married? Is it after you've gotten settled in life or when you're young? And younger. That's how you know that both people are there for the right reasons. And it gives your relationship time to mature.
Anybody?
Wearing Jordans?
Wears them. So y'all know Space Jam Jordans, the Jordan 11s, probably arguably the most popular ones, right? What time you got to get up for them shits, Marcus?
I love the ones.
Like if you just going to get them from the store.
Shit, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Probably the day before, or you got to do the pre-reserve.
Yeah, you got to get up super early. You got to have a connect, or you got to get up the day before and go wait in line. So look at how we take that mindset. Everything in life that is precious and valuable, we get up early for it. You got to get it first. You got to get it early. But somehow in love and relationships, we think we can wait till we 35 till we really start getting shit moving. It ain't gonna be left in the store if you wait.
That's because women don't value men. That's why women don't value relationship and they don't value men. They value themselves and independence.
Anything worth having, you got to get it early, right? So if you don't want to be left making excuses as to why you don't have a partner and there are men in jail, that really gives me a headache now. Because what I really see, I don't give a fuck what she talking about. All I see is the shame on her face for not having done something sooner. So I'm gonna take that clip and I'm gonna tell the younger version of her, how about you get serious about relationships right now?
Because this version is cooked.
25 is 30, especially for women. 25 is 30. If you meet a dude that you are equally yoked with on your 25th birthday, y'all are gonna date for 2 years at least. If he gets engaged to you on your 27th birthday, y'all are gonna be engaged before the wedding for at least 18 months. You're gonna be 29, almost 30, and that's one relationship. So you don't have time to waste. 25 is 30. You know what I mean? So on this particular thing, I just think that, we just got to give better advice to people so they don't really end up in the situation like that lady making excuses as to why we don't have a person we supposed to spend the rest of our life with.
That's a hard sell for them because 25, they still in their party years. They still feel like they can have their pick of the litter and they still want to sample this and sample that and travel here and do all this and get drinks for free and go to the club and party. So most of them don't even have the priority of wanting a relationship until it's too late. And that's what typically happens when you operate through how you feel about shit versus operating through logic and facts and being able to see. They responsive. So it's not until, oh shit, I'm 35 and I'm not married and don't have a family that they start panicking trying to scramble.
Yeah, marriage is hard but fair, right? I think that's the bottom line of it. And I think it's worth it. In terms of the clip, right?
Agreed.
You just hear projection mostly, right? Because people will say things that are unfounded. They never even research it. They just repeat the thing over and over, right? There's 1.7 million people in prison altogether, right? Including white people. So even when we say that, it has very little relevance. It's a nominal number in a country full of 360 million people. But people just go with what makes them feel better about their behavior that's unbecoming, which leaves them outside by themselves. And that's really what we hear when people say, I am for this or I'm not for this, either because they were unsuccessful or had success in it. And so generally people push on you what they think worked for them or didn't work for them. And so that's what I hear in that clip specifically. I'm done.
Let's get Sierra. Oh, I don't know if Shan, you ready to come off the mic? If not, let's go to Sierra. Sierra?
I wonder what they both hosting.
I'm okay right now. Yeah, the only thing I really had to say was I really agree with what the girl said about you really don't have these issues when you actually like the man that you with or the woman that you with. I think that was something that was kind of bypassed. We actually enjoy the time that you spend with the person that you're with. You cherish that, you enjoy it, and you do everything that you can to make that time and that space safe and welcoming and all of the things that's
what happens when you're chasing feelings.
Often too, we walk into things that we think are safe and welcoming and all of these things, and then we find out that people aren't who they say they are. And sometimes
that's what happens when you're chasing feelings.
For only 3 weeks. Sometimes it was worn for 3 months, and sometimes it was worn for 18 months or even 3 years before it came off, and the abuser was unmasked. But I think that when we think about who we're choosing as our partners, we have to take accountability in that too. If I don't like the person that I'm with, I'm probably going to treat them like crap. I'm probably going to be irritated by everything that they do because I don't like them. So when we like the people that we're with, then we have a lot less issues with
people that we're with.
She talking about that honeymoon phase and just making sure the honeymoon phase lasts the whole entire relationship, and that's what a relationship is supposed to be. And it's like, no, that's just the honeymoon phase. A relationship is work and forgiveness and compromise and communication. This is what happens when you're only chasing a feeling and then you're selecting a person based off of how they make you feel.
I can agree with that, Sierra. I used to believe what you said until I started seeing women that actually like the man that they was with. They do something wrong and shit hit the fan. It's like now they don't like them no more. Now I just like was subjective all of a sudden. So I think it's more
fleeting.
than just like.
Yeah,
I think
like
people
it's
need
fleeting.
to grow with understanding who people really are. Besides the happiness, like, oh, we're doing this together and we bond very well. Okay, but when things are not,
I don't think that it's just about liking somebody in the surface level of it. I think that it's not shallow. There's a lot of depth to that.
To
But if you
liking.
don't even simply like me, then you're not gonna respect me. You're not going to anything. But love is different. Like
I understand,
union
like
is different. Like,
I
but
understand
I'm
you don't
not.
like somebody, it's not going to work. I was just talking about women who like their man, that part, not the ones who don't like them. So the ones who like them, I've seen women who love their man and they do shit wrong, consistently. I'm not talking about cheating and all this other stuff, like just simple stuff. It could be he's not clean. Oh, he's getting on my nerves. He don't do this. He don't do that. I want him to do this with me, but he don't like it. And they be complaining all the time. And all of a sudden now they're not attracted to him no more. They're not giving sex to him. Now it's a sexless marriage and all this nonsense. It'd
Because
be
she
women
used
who
to
like
him.
their
She
man
was
that
not
do that.
current like him.
Well,
She
that's
used
the
to like people are allowed to have a change of mind. That's what you're
No.
not like.
That's
Yes,
what
you are.
marriage is not supposed
You
to be
can
like
have
that.
in a marriage. If you choose to have a change of mind, that's what we have things like divorce for. But if
divorce is not
we
for
aren't
that.
allowed
Change of
to
mind.
say as a person, hey, I've been around you for 8 years. 8 years ago, you were a great person. You've taken on tendencies. You've taken on like habits. You brought people around that I don't like, and I don't like the person that you become.
But
You
can
are
y'all
allowed
figure this
to
out before y'all give up the cakes? Because y'all sleep with these dudes
Y'all are
and y'all swing
we
your
are
life.
allowed to
This is
say
why
that
sex
we do not
before
like something that we
sex before
originally.
y'all get serious
But
is
hold on,
bad.
lady. Oh, I want to finish this conversation. So when it comes to
Okay.
vows, though, your marriage vows, what does the marriage vow say? You've been married before, Sierra?
I have never been married, but I have been engaged twice, and I dodged a bullet twice, and thank the Lord that I did. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think that, it's right to get into a unionship with somebody that you don't know well. But I also don't think it's right to stay in a unionship that you know is not good for you. If you
But
know
you're
that
talking about the
person's
most like worst case
you know
scenario.
you
I
don't like
understand that.
person, you know that you're going to treat this person like crap every day because you don't even like their presence, then why are you with them? Don't continue to make yourself and them miserable.
She keeps conflating two things. A relationship happens over time, and so you can start off liking somebody just the way she described earlier, and your feelings can change, which is what she also described. But the thing about a stable relationship is that even if your feelings change, you don't disrupt the relationship. You just work through that and learn to like each other again. Versus what she's describing is, once you find out, once you stop liking each other, just go ahead and divorce. It's simple. And it's like, yeah, that's the opposite of what a marriage is, and that's why you can't get married, because you operate from that mind frame of quitting as soon as things get a little heated or you get uncomfortable.
But let's talk about, I get that. But I'm saying, let's talk about what I was saying about how people do like each other. And you're saying if they change, they have
fleeting.
a right to divorce. That's what you said?
I mean, not everybody's in a marriage. You guys want to bring it all back to marriage, and I'm not. Like, I can't relate to the married crap. Like, I'm not married yet. Like, I want to be married, yes, but like, I cannot sit here and talk from that standpoint because I've never been that woman. I've never been a wife. But what I'm saying
You
is,
sure are
if
talking
you're with,
talking
I know
from it.
plenty of people who have been in 10, 12 years relationships.
Oh.
If you don't like that person, then don't be with them. If I'm married to somebody and I don't like them, I'm not going to continue to be with them, period, point blank, regardless of how much I was in love with them 10 years ago. If they fucking put their hands on me, if they verbally abuse me, if they like are just not shit to me every day, if they ignore me, I'm not going to continue to like that, and I'm not going to continue to be in a relationship with them or a marriage.
I'm trying to get somewhere with you, Sierra, but you keep saying I'm not a wife. I don't know that. I'm trying to like explain some stuff, but you already dismissed it because you are not a wife. I already know you're not a wife. You just said that. So you want to keep telling me about what you know and stuff about, oh, I'm not this, I'm not that, but you're not letting me explain to you what marriage is like, because obviously you've been engaged twice, which means you want to be married. You just said that. I'm a wife, so I'm trying to explain to you, at least from my perspective, of what I'm seeing and what is happening. But you don't want to hear it, so I guess you're just not gonna ever get married.
It's that same fleeting mindset that she's displaying right here on this panel that keeps her single, and she hasn't even come to the realization of that. And then instead of being able to humble herself long enough to be like, hey, you've been married before, so there's perspectives and nuances to it that I may be missing and have to make an adjustment so that I can attract what it is that I actually want to be, you know, in union with. Nowadays everything is very transactional. Women are more concerned, and men too, they're more concerned with how a person makes them feel versus how can they add value to that person. That's the perspective that a lot of people are taking now, and that's why they can't find valuable relationships.
Everybody shut the fuck up. Hey, shut the fuck up. Let me tell you something right now.
If you made it this far, check out the one we just did where we were discussing Section 8 evictions. The good, the bad, and the ugly from both sides. Check it out.